Do you have any advice for young LGBTQ plus folks getting started and trying to find their place in this industry now?
Stop right now. Go do something else. No, I'm kidding. If you don't want it 100%, then you shouldn't do it because it's a tough ass business. I didn't care what anybody said. I just knew I had it in my head that I was going to do it and make it. But yeah, I was just like, well, you. I don't care what you think. I'm gay. Take it or leave it.
Hey, Guillermo, thanks so much for talking to us at Queerty today.
Thanks, John.
First of all, I wanted to say congrats on making your feature directing debut with Dear Luke, Love Me. It's the story of best friends, Penny and Luke, who are working to maintain their platonic relationship while dealing with societal pressure to find something quote unquote normal. How did you come on board to this project?
I've known Mally McCowan, who wrote the script and who ended up starring in the film, and she produced it with us as well. So I've known her for over almost 20 years now. You know, when a friend sends you a script, you're always a bit trepidatious and a bit like nervous because you're like, oh God, what if it sucks? And what am I going to say? So I was a little bit weary, but I trust Mally. She's an amazing writer and artist. So I started reading it and just fell in love with it. It's so well written. It's such a beautifully unique story. And originally I was coming on just as a producer, you know, sort of in the very, very beginning stages of starting. And so at that point, she asked me if I wanted to direct, and I've always wanted to direct. And like I said, I fell in love with this story and this script. So I was like, what better time than now to just jump in? And it was in the middle of the pandemic. I was craving to be creative and, you know, thought it was a wonderful opportunity, and I jumped on as the director.
Love it. So the relationship between Penny and Luke is so unique. Never seen anything really like it before in a film like this. What did you and the team want audiences to take away from their story?
The first thing I would love for people to take away from the story and from the film is that it's a very simple, true, heartfelt, extremely unique love story. And all I hope is that it touches people and they're moved by it and feel okay that maybe it's not, you know, a cookie cutter sort of typical relationship that we see on TV or in film or just in society. And we're constantly trying to put people and things and relationships into boxes and put a label on it, and for us to feel comfortable to know exactly what it is. So I would hope that people take away some sort of comfort and solace in the fact that whatever their relationship is, that it's okay. And that's certainly the case with Penny and Luke. It's an extremely close, unique relationship where they have amazing chemistry, and it's almost otherworldly is a word that's said a lot in the film. It's a John and Yoko kind of love, you know, without they have some sex, but not as much as you would think that John and Yoko have. Anyway, it's an extremely unique love story. So I hope just people, you know, are moved by it.
Well, yeah, it's beautiful. It's so exciting. People are going to get to see it. One of the first indie movies my friends and I ever went to that made us feel really cool for discovering it was Party Girl.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that with Parker Posey? Did you have any idea it was going to be the enduring cult classic that it became?
No idea. It was exhilarating. It was one of my first leads in a film. I think I had done Stonewall already. No, I don't think I had done Stonewall yet. So this was like my first big role in an actual feature film. So I was beyond excited. I had a long audition process. I auditioned 5 times, and finally they had me audition with Parker. She was already cast in the film. And I got to meet this extremely rare bird of a person that had never met before, and I fell in love with her, and she was just so different. Marches to the beat of her own drummer. You know, she doesn't live her life by any sort of societal rules or anything. Anyway, she was amazing, and no, we had no idea that the film was going to become the cult classic that it did. You know, the reviews weren't great when it first came out, from what I can remember, and people were like, cool, whatever. But then in time, I think the nostalgia of the 90s and the music and that club scene became very sort of alluring. And I think, and Parker, of course, you know, people discovered her, and little by little the movie became this this cult hit, and I'm super psyched about that.
Well, I was in high school when it came out, and you
Oh,
got
yeah.
great reviews from my friends and I upon release right away.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I feel like the people sort of got it right away, but all the powers that be and critics and all that shit were like trying to be like, well, this isn't perfect, and all that BS. But yeah, I think the people, like you said, that truly got it and enjoyed it and appreciated it.
So I think Party Girl is, a love letter to New York and nightlife in the 90s. Parker Posey has talked about roller skating at the Roxy with RuPaul at the time. I was wondering, since you grew up in the city, were you a part of that nightlife scene at all? What was your life like growing up in New York?
Yeah, I grew up in Washington Heights in Manhattan during the 80s. I had very much that sort of nightclub life. Mine was a little bit, I went to high school in the Bronx, so my sort of clubbing nightlife was very much more like Paris is Burning, like going to, it was called Savoy Manor, where they had the balls. I didn't go to the balls back then, but I would go to the parties, to like house parties. And then after I got the film, me and Parker hung out a lot before we started shooting, and she took me out to like the Tunnel, and I think we went to the Roxy and a few other places together. So I got to sort of do the club scene with Parker Posey before we shot this movie, and that was super dope. And the city was a different place back then. It was kind of dangerous and gritty. It was so special, and there was nothing like it at the time.
That's really fun research for a job, just getting to go party with Parker Posey around New York City. So you mentioned the movie Stonewall earlier. I read that you came out of the closet with Genre magazine roundabout when that movie was coming out.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, that's a time when not a lot of other actors were doing that. Ellen had come out in 1997, and it was a pretty rough road. At the time, did it feel like you were doing something incredibly risky or scary?
I guess to an extent, but not really. I was like, I was such a rebellious like dude in my 20s that, I was sort of faced with a decision after I did Stonewall. My management kept saying, well, you're going to have to decide if you're going to come out or you're going to lie and stay in the closet, because they knew I was going to be doing press for the film. And I was like, I'm not freaking lying. And, and I was just honest from the gate. And I think being that way, there was never any sort of question or mystery or like, is he gay? Is he lying? I would sort of put it all out there up front. So then it took away all that mystery and all that curiosity and wanting to snatch people out of the closet and all that shit. So in my head, I thought, well, you. If you don't want to work with me because I'm gay, then I don't want to work with you anyway, which I think sort of served me well in my career. But yeah, I was just like, well, you. I don't care what you think. I'm gay, take it or leave it.
I mean, it's pretty badass. And yeah, it served you well, it seems like, because I was going to say from an outside perspective, it seems like after you came out, you just continued to work all the time and have this amazing career. But I was wondering, like, in your actual experience, was there pushback or tension from folks in the industry, or did you just get away with it?
I think I just sort of got away with it. There was a little bit of pushback from my team, like my managers and stuff. I think they were just very protective of me, and they knew I was sort of doing well in my career, so they didn't want anything to derail that. So I think they were trying to look out for me, but at the same time, as a gay person, it's like, well, I get it that you're trying to protect me, but also you can't ask me to stifle who I am because, I want my career to do well or to do better than it's doing or whatever, you know what I mean? So other than my team, I didn't really get much pushback. And if there was pushback from, projects that I auditioned for or that I didn't get or that I did get, they never said it to my face. So I never saw it. Everybody was always cool about it and cool with me.
Do you have any advice for young LGBTQ plus folks getting started and trying to find their place in this industry now?
Stop right now. Go do something else. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, listen, my advice is always, if you don't want it 100%, if it's all you can think about and it's in your gut and your bones, and it, regardless of the people shooting you down and saying you're not good or you can't do it, and you still want to do it, if you don't have that passion, that 180% like drive to be an actor, then you shouldn't do it, because it's a tough ass business. And I didn't care what anybody said. I just knew I had it in my head that I was going to do it and make it, and nothing else could shove me to the side and stop me from doing it. And ask yourself truly in your gut, is this really what you want to do? Because I think we all know, if we really ask that question, if it is or it's not. And if it's not, then I would say, find something else.
Throwing it back again, you were famously in a Britney Spears video, but I hear that you have a tattoo of another pop legend, Madonna.
Yeah.
Is Madonna your queen? What made you fall in love with Madonna? What's your Madonna superfan origin story?
She is, man. I went to see the Blonde Ambition tour when I was like 17, and I was completely awestruck and blown away. I had never seen a performer simulate masturbation on stage, and I remember the whole audience just like gasping and being like so excited and elated, and she's so provocative but also so intelligent and loves to push the envelope and to push people's boundaries in a thoughtful way, and she's so sexual and smart, and I don't know, she just had it all. And I think for a young gay man growing up with so many people telling us that who we are and what we are is wrong and it's evil and it's whatever, we had this woman that was sort of, telling us that we were okay, and she was celebrating that and bringing on these, people from the LGBTQIA plus community into her videos and into her tours and into her movies. And, like Truth or Dare was the first time we saw two men make out and sort of on the big screen, if I'm not mistaken. And again, she was celebrating us. How could she not be my queen? And she's still around, for all those people that were like, oh, she's just a flash in the pan. She's a one-hit wonder or a two-hit wonder or whatever, and she's still around. It's 2025.
Giving Cher a run for her money. They're both in there.
There's room for both of them.
And Britney Spears.
And Britney. I love Britney too. Yeah.
So you, along with some of your fellow Scandal castmates, campaigned with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz last year, and things didn't turn out how we wanted. Just wondering how you're maintaining your sanity in these current United States. Do you have any secret intel from Olivia Pope for us? How are we supposed to get through this?
I wish, man. I wish there was, people online are constantly asking OPA to come in and swoop in and fix the situation. And I wish we could, man. I'm confused and scared, just like the next person. And I think I'm just trying to stay positive and creative and just put myself out there and vote when we can. And I don't know, it's very difficult. It's hard, man. I think if we start with ourselves and in our like small community, wherever that is or whatever that looks like, and love each other and be kind to each other, I think hopefully that will expand little by little. It sounds like something very small, but I think eventually it will make a difference. And the universe is feeling and watching exactly what's going on. And I'm a big believer in karma and in, if you're a good person and good to others, and then that will come back to us and we'll see that. There's got to be hope there sort of somewhere at the end of this long tunnel, and we just kind of have to hold on to that. What other choice do we have?
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's why we so appreciate you always being so vocal and true to yourself. And all we can control is the energy we're putting out into the world.
And hope that like aliens swoop in and like will take us away, maybe, if it doesn't get any better.
We're waiting, Olivia. We're waiting. Do you know what you're working on next? Are you planning on any more directing projects?
I would love to direct again. I'm a huge horror thriller genre fan. So I'm sort of talking again with Mally McCowan, who wrote Dear Luke, and she wrote an amazing sort of horror film script that I possibly might be working on with her. And there's a couple of other things that are sort of brewing that, I'm hoping will come to fruition soon. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us at Queerty here today, and congratulations on the film. It's so great it's getting out into the world.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.